What's going on to you crabs out there? Hope y'all are having a great day. So you have the King of Cups, the Queen of Wands, and you have the Hierophant for you crabs. Um, you crabs see relationships nowadays like people are really not ready. And it's the truth. People are not ready. Most of the times they're not really ready for a real relationship. They're not. They're fronting like they are. And so a lot of you crabs really understand, to piggyback off of the last reading that I did for you crabs. I was talking about how a lot of you basically, you know, you're not really particularly bothered with the outcome of where your life is going. And the reason why you're not bothered with it, I'm getting all that kind of notifications, but the reason why you crabs are not really bothered by where things are going relationally with you is because of the fact that you crabs have peace. You have inner joy. See, the situation is the reason why a lot of people, especially today, want relationships, but to put it quite frankly, they're not fit to be in one, is because they want it. But the problem is they refuse to do what's necessary in order for them to result in being in a relationship. Number one, people have to learn to work on themselves. This is what I keep trying to say, right? In a lot of my readings, you cannot play the game and be in a functional, successful, joyful relationship. Those two things don't exist at the same time. Factually, they can't, because a person will spend so much of their time playing all kind of mind games and tactics and ploys and schemes and all this other type of stuff while at the other person's expense. See, like for instance, right? Like for instance, there's the ideology of like traditionalism, right? I'm just giving y'all an example, giving y'all game. The idea of traditionalism, right? And it's like we can't even get to the discussion of we both need to work, or should one person stay at home while one person work or handle their business or get their bread and butter however they get their bread and butter. Because you still have to have that conversation of, well, okay, are you okay sitting in the house, taking care of it, potentially taking care of the little ones while I'm at work, handling my business, and still come home and take care of the kids or the little ones myself and do housework? So when you come asking me for money, if it's not within my budget, or if I don't have any kind of money left over to where I can have for myself and do whatever I want, save and give a proportion to you, the answer is going to be no. Are you okay with accepting no sometimes? Are you okay being humble to come to me and ask me for some money? A lot of people would probably say no because they don't want to feel belittled, because the ideology of the idea of I gotta ask this person like they are my parent for money. Not only that too, but it's also the burden of responsibility, right? Okay, the two of y'all working. Are the two of y'all, not one person, but the both of you, mature enough to, yes, pay the bills, have fun, but also save, and not just spend it all on having fun while you watching while you watching the other person in the relationship strain themselves into exhaustion to walk around not only at their own walking around weight, but also yours, and especially if you have little ones. See, we can't even get to discussions like that, my dear crabs, because so many people won't even let you. They so caught up with the games and the trying to get you upset and the ignoring you. Whoa, you want to talk about You want to talk about talks. You want to talk about private conversations. We can't even get to that point. We are nowhere near that point because so many people want to play all sorts of mind games and tactics and antics and hopscotch and all this other type of goofy nonsense. Because I don't care what anybody says, because I know that I'm not out of my mind. It's crazy. The reason why that's important in the first place is because these three cards by itself speaks to what it is that I was talking about how you crabs see how, like, most people are not ready for a relationship. You crabs may be, and you may be healthy, and you may be ready for one, but most people are not. The Lovers and the Magician is about, so you crabs have to take care of yourself, and there's nothing wrong with you taking care of yourself. That's what you're literally supposed to do. You're literally supposed to have fun. You're supposed to do your own thing. And the situation with that is because other people are incompetent of loving you right now. We're in a time right now. This is why it is that I say that all that traditionalism nonsense, that stuff is nonsense. Look. I'm not gonna, you know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna get that far, but that stuff is nonsense. Okay? Show and prove. It's nonsense because a lot of that stuff is really like delusion of grandeur. This ideology of one person can go to work and make the bacon. First and foremost, right? Bring home the bacon. First and foremost, right? Here's another topic with that, right? To show you how full of it is and why it is that you crabs are realizing that right now you should be single, right? It would be within your fortune or within your best interest to stay single right now. The idea that, they want to do the traditionalism thing, right? Okay, they want to do the traditionalism thing. What about why married couples break up with one another? One of the reasons why married couples break up with one another is because of the fact that let's come on now, let's stop BSing. One person feels like they are bored and don't have any purpose in the relationship because one person is not keeping themselves busy. When you have idle hands, just this exorbitant time with idle hands, they're not even making any kind of money. They have to ask the significant other for some money to be able to kind of go out and buy something for themselves or whatever. All of that stuff, number one, builds up resentment, and number two, it brings a whole new like challenge to the relationship. Why? Because it's a situation now where, okay, the person, what it is if a relationship is going to be successful, it's about work. There is no such thing as one partner or one person in the relationship just laying back with all of these idle time, just this exorbitant amounts. This is what facilitates cheating, because one person is just like, this is why it is that they'll blame the other person. Well, I was just left in the house, because it's the friction of, well, let me go get a job so that I don't have all this time to be out here just with my hands up into the sky, not doing anything, because when I'm working, I'm actually being productive. But what you have is you got a bunch of goofy individuals making up excuses. Well, I don't want you to work because you could cheat. At the same time, those same individuals screaming that their significant other is cheating with another person in their bed at the house. So it's like this delusion of grandeur of cheating. It's like the person will cheat regardless of whether if it's on the job or if you leave them at the house. What are you doing? What are we talking about? Factually, this traditionalism crap doesn't work, because if it did, we would have still had it. So the point that I'm trying to make here with you, crabs, is the King of Swords and the Six of Cups. Here comes this ex coming back in, the one from last time, trying to bring their sorry behind back in, trying to talk to you, trying to reach back out to you. And the King of Swords is about how you crabs are basically just being honest with them. Like, look, they haven't healed. They're not supposed to be in a relationship. The Knight of Cups is about how they know what it is that you crabs are saying is the truth, but they want a companion badly. But the thing about it is they have not healed. So I'm seeing how a lot of you crabs are really just kind of like the counselor, where it's like a lot of you are really like you really self-aware. You crabs really understand yourself, and you understand things in a bigger perspective, from the sense of you crabs really understand like you are healing. You're healing, and other people are not willing to do the hard work. They're not willing to heal, but they call themselves coming to you, trying to create a relationship. And you crabs understand that that's not going to work if that's the case. Because you're healing yourself. They're not even gonna heal. They're not even trying to heal. And that's something that they need to do, while at the same time, even though they're unhealed, right? Mind you, they're unhealed, but they're still trying to force a relationship upon themselves. They know that they're not healed, but they're like, well, I still want to be with somebody. And it's like, no, they have to face their worst fear by being by themselves and actually confronting those problems and dealing with it and resolving it within themselves first. And this is the thing that you crabs are even like so like done with, to the point where you like giving people a word of advice, like heal. You know what I'm saying? Like, I honestly see that you crabs aren't even bashing people or like going at them or kind of like telling them F off. This is more so where you crabs are just telling them like, look, like, you got to heal. And you're not ready to be in a relationship. You know, like, this is what you are telling them. And the Eight of Swords and the High Priestess is about how, well, they know that you're right, but at the catch-22, they're getting upset at you for being responsible and seeing it that, look, you've already given it 2 tries. What's the point? For them to get their foot, or to try to get their foot back in the door, and then relapse, right? Because they bugging, you know what I'm saying? Trigger the relapse, and then the next thing you know, you back into the wheel of fortune again, where you got to go through the same rigmarole nonsense, where it's like you bugging out again, you wilding again, you going crazy again. So let's clarify the High Priestess. Overall, this is a very good reading, because this means that you crabs are learning, and you're learning to actually have more control over your life. This is more so about you crabs are willing to actually look at what things are and understand where things could be, but also making those things that could be become a reality for yourself. Learning how to heal for yourself. It's not about trying to convince other people to heal. It's more so about you crabs healing for yourself, that affecting the people around you, but not accepting people who are not healed to come into your life. So to clarify the High Priestess, you have the Four of Pentacles, the Four of Wands, the High Priestess again, the King of Pentacles, and the Seven of Cups. The Four of Pentacles and the Four of Wands is, again, people's stubbornness is why a lot of the times they are not growing. There is no growth for them. They're stagnant, because you crabs see it, right? It's the same kind of thought process with when I created the philosophy, when I created the way of life of, I don't hold on to anything or anyone too tightly, because the more I was holding on to try and hold on to a significant other that would literally out of the blue tell me, look, we ain't gonna work out, I'm moving on to somebody else. Bye. They would literally just cut me off, and I would never hear from them again. You know what I'm saying? And even the ones that would stick around, they would grow to resent me because they playing games and they're not healed themselves, just like I'm not healed. So basically that realization struck me like a bolt of lightning. Hopefully bolt of lightning doesn't hit me for real, or strike me, but it hit me one time, right? Hope YouTube don't hit me with that. But it's more so like the realization of, why am I holding on to a particular situation when all I'm getting is resentment, or the person just cut me off completely and they vanish? There's people who will cut me off who I have never heard from again, still to this day. And it's like, what is the point of holding on to this situation here? I'm stressing myself out. This person's already gone. This person wasn't even considerate. They literally just left me just like that. Like, what is the point of me holding on to this thing for real, when it's like I'm not even getting what I want? You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm so dissatisfied with it all. I might as well just learn to be have that surfer's mentality, right? This is why I call myself a surfer in that regard, because it's the philosophy, it's the understanding of how to work with the waves. It's not about trying to control chaos. That's a delusion. You cannot control chaos, but you can manipulate it, right? So it's like, instead of trying to control it and control where things go and this, that, and the third, for me, it was more about learning how to manipulate chaos, learn how to use every situation to my advantage, even when it doesn't seem like it's supposed to be going my way, right? So thus, why hold on to anything or to anyone too tightly? And the King of Pentacles and the Seven of Cups for you, crabs, is about how you have options. This is what I'm trying to say. Like, when you legitimately understand that you're healed, right? And to not hold on to dysfunctional situations, you know what's going to happen? This is where you realize what your options are. This is when the universe opens up to you, because you realize that if a person decides to leave you, it's okay. Is it going to hurt? Absolutely it is. You know, you aren't faking it, but you also, again, you developed the surfer's mentality. Why are you trying to go against the waves? This person has made a legitimate free will choice that they do not want to be around. Holding them hostage, so to speak, or trying to coerce them to stay is only going to make more terrible friction, where the two of you will be at each other's necks. The best thing to do with it is to understand that everybody has their own free will, and to respect it, and to allow the situation to be what it is, because you understand that is a spiritual battle, so to speak, that is not worth actually participating in. No one can control free will. So when you, crabs, understood this is when your options opened up, because you don't look at it now from a perspective where you have to go out and get back at other people or be shelled. A lot of you crabs look at it now from a perspective of, you don't need the shell anymore. You don't need to have an exoskeleton, right? Like an actual crab. You understand now that, like, you crabs understand now that it doesn't matter if you and a person end up breaking up. You're good regardless of what happens. And that love and finding the real thing and being in a real relationship, by definition, you're going to have to put yourself out there at risk in order to find it. Otherwise, if you're not trying to risk anything, trying to manipulate love is only going to end in disaster. So that's pretty much it. Comment on the video, like the video, subscribe to the YouTube channel, share the video, smash the subscribe button, smash the like button, hit the notification bell, set that notification bell to all so you can be notified whenever I drop my videos.